There were nights I didn't pray. I just lay there counting reasons to leave. I didn't want to fight, not because I gave up, but because I was tired of losing. Tired of dragging myself through another day of noise. It sounded too much like every insult I'd ever internalized. I didn't want to die, I just didn't want to stay. They say words don't kill, but some linger like poison in the bloodstream of the soul. I've heard things I wouldn't say to an enemy, and I've repeated them to myself. For years I've hated myself with the voice of others, and when I screamed into the silence, even heaven felt quiet. Job cursed his birth, Elijah begged for death, David wept until his bones ached, even Paul despaired of life. So maybe I'm not broken, maybe I'm just human in a world that's forgotten how to be gentle with the ones who feel too much. I didn't know why I still needed to be here. I just was breathing, burning quietly, waiting for God to say something that would make it make sense. He didn't shout, he didn't explain, but he didn't leave either. I walked around with scars that no one could see, but I saw them in every mirror, in the silence after arguments, in the way I paused before answering, "Are you okay?" As if the truth would take up too much space. Some days I smile just to keep people from asking. I used to ask God why He made me feel so much, why He gave me empathy that turned every injustice into a personal wound, why I could hear people's pain like background noise I couldn't switch off, and all He ever answered with was presence, not explanation, just a steady, sacred presence. I wanted a reason, He gave me breath. I wanted an answer, He gave me time. I wanted to disappear, but He kept finding ways to remind me that even ashes can still burn. I didn't know why I still needed to be here, but now I see there were people I hadn't met yet, words I hadn't written, songs that needed to carry someone else out of their own silence, love I hadn't yet released, and healing that was meant for more than me. Hate taught me to hide, love taught me to speak, pain taught me patience, but it was grace that kept me breathing when I didn't want to. And now every time I feel the ache return, I remember what it's like to survive without a reason and still make it holy. This isn't a victory song, it's a testimony. Not that I won, but that I'm still here, still soft, still sacred, still sent, even when I didn't want to be. Sometimes survival is a miracle, sometimes just waking up is proof that God is not done. I didn't claw my way out, I was carrying. Every time I hear a voice say I shouldn't still be here, I wanna hold them and say me too, but we are. I didn't know why I still needed to be here, but now I do, to speak for the ones still curled under the weight, to write what I once needed to read, to be proof that the darkness doesn't get the final verse, that silence can be sacred and breath is still obedience. Loyam Anna, I've felt every flavor of hate and turned it inward too many times, but I am still here, not because I always wanted to be, but because God wanted me here. And now, so do I.